exercise advice. You don't go there. And yet, there they went, with Fannie and Freddie and a variety of private contractors to run a bailout that itself kind of needed to be bailed out. But that's only the tip of the iceberg. According to the Congressional Oversight Panel, the vast majority of people working on the Troubled Asset Relief Program, again, TARP, receive their paychecks from private companies. And I want you to take a guess who got more than half that dough. Ta-da! Fannie and Freddie. And are you ready? 240 million smackers, Freddie. Kind of heady. Now, these are the same two companies that themselves were bailed out and to this day continue to rely on taxpayers to keep going. A Treasury Department spokesperson defending this unusual fox guarding the henhouse financial arrangement, telling the Hill, and I quote, "Treasury's demand for skills, resources, and expertise was urgent, and we quickly needed qualified assistance." Now, who am I to have a hissy fit over what is now history? But skills, resources, expertise. Now, not one of these words would I ever connect to Freddie or Fannie, just like I wouldn't connect the words fit, svelte, or let's just say cut to moi. But in Washington, this arrangement works fine. Maybe if you're paging Dr. Kevorkian to kill a patient, but save a patient? Look, I won't ever tell you to eat a salad. Let's avoid Freddie or Fannie offering to help read a financial statement. That is spreading the sheet a bit too far for my taste. That's all I'm saying. So put another way, my next guest says, it is like we are paying for the inmates to run the asylum. And New York Republican Congressman Chris Lee says, well, it's weird.
Hey, Neil, how are you tonight?
Good, but Congressman, it is weird, really weird.
Well, the only analogy I can use, Neil, having Freddie and Fannie oversee TARP is sort of like having your kids pass out your Halloween candy.
Why did they do it?
Somehow you know you're not going to get that type of result.
Right, right.
It's why Washington constantly gets a bad name. You have government officials making horrible decisions. I just had Tim Geithner in front of our committee, which is Financial Services, just about a month ago, and he was more or less bragging about the fact that TARP would only cost taxpayers $50 billion when it was all said and done. And that's really the problem is that unless it has a B or a T after it, most people, bureaucrats in Washington, don't understand. And in this case, we have spent almost $500 million on people who themselves are $150 billion in the hole with taxpayer money. It is insanity.
Now, I'm trying to give the benefit of the doubt here. It started in the fall of 2008. In the middle of a meltdown, another president, another period, another time. All this is beginning to roll. So maybe at the time it looked like, well, mortgages, Fannie, Freddie seemed like a natural connection. But it continued. I mean, the contracts and awards continued even when you realized that you were giving it to the very foxes who were trying to salivate at the henhouse, and none of that was abbreviated. You know what I mean?
Well, if you look at the dollar amounts, too, we're talking about $500 million on oversight on this program. And to be honest, there weren't that many companies that have the oversight. You look, AIG was well over $100 billion. We're spending money hand over fist. And to your point, we're using people like Fannie and Freddie who, frankly, should be working on trying to get back into the black. Each and every month, it's the federal government still keeping them solvent. They need to solve their own problems. Instead, we have taking some of their people and going and trying to audit other companies when they should be trying to fix their own balance sheet. That's,
well, what worries me,
again,
Congressman, is I don't even know if
situations.
this has been discontinued. Now, TARP itself has been shut down. Obviously, the investigations of Neil Borowski and others continue, so God knows what else we'll discover. But do you know, or can you ascertain one way or the other, whether Freddie Mac or Fannie Mae have any consulting role with any other bailout, rescue, financial undertaking going beyond their areas?
That I am unaware of, but the one person I have some confidence is with Neil Borowski. I think he's a pretty sharp individual. But what we really need to be doing is getting Fannie and Freddie off the taxpayer dole as fast as possible. and get our financial institutions back on the right track. But it's this constant idea that we're going to throw taxpayer dollars, and I can talk about my district. People are just fed up, and that's why I think come the November elections, we're going to get more fiscally responsible people. I ran a manufacturing company. I can assure you, you don't audit your own company. We always brought in an outside team that could be subjective. Having Fannie and Freddie overseeing TARP truly is, to your point, it's an insane asylum, and it's really got to stop.
Thank you, sir. Both sides certainly to have their
appreciate
part in this mess. What a mess. Well, no cost of living.